creative recipes to help you live compassionately and healthily. My name's Emma and this is Rainbow Chef. So today I'm going to start by making one of my absolute favourite all-time desserts, which is a mango, apple and strawberry crumble. Okay, so to start with, we're going to start with the dry ingredients. So we've got half a cup of plain flour, we've got 1/3 of a cup of rye flour and 1/3 of a cup of rice flour. So these are going to go into my large mixing bowl here. So in they go, like so. And then in my next bowl, I've got just over 1/3 of a cup of sunflower butter. So in that goes. Now, what we've then got to do is rub the butter into the flour mixture. So I'm just going to do that now. And what we're trying to achieve here is a breadcrumb-like mixture. So you just keep rubbing the butter into the flour like so. I'll go as quick as I can. So just keep carrying on. I like to use a combination of flours because it gives more diversity to the flavour. So we'll just pop those in. Another dry ingredient that I've added as well, which I forgot to mention at the beginning, is semolina flour. And what that does is it gives a really lovely crunch, and then with the rice flour it adds sort of a crumbly texture as well. So we're nearly there now. It does take a little while and it is quite warm today. The sun is shining, so that's good. We're getting there now, so that's marvellous. Come on. So that's it. Now a fruit crumble it's quite a traditional British recipe. Usually we have just apple and cinnamon, but I like to use a combination of fruit. You can use absolutely any fruit that you wish. If you wanted to, you could add peaches or apricots, which adds a really lovely summery, subtle, sweet flavour. So we're nearly there now. So I'm just getting there. A great technique actually when you're rubbing the dry ingredients into the butter is to just kind of rub your hands together. It's slightly quicker rather than just using your fingertips. So we're just about there now. We've got, I'll show you in a moment, the texture that we are trying to create. Now this is quite a lumpy sort of consistency, which is great because it will have a really lovely biscuity, crunchy texture, which is exactly what we're after with the crumble. We don't want it too dry. So let's just, right, I think just about there. Okay. So let's use flour and butter mixed hands. So if I just show my bowl, whoops, this is the texture that we are trying to create. So that's that. Right, okay, so the next ingredient, most importantly, is sugar. So in my cup, I have got 1/3 of a cup of golden caster sugar. So in that goes. I mean, you can add a little bit more if you like, but with all the fruit, which is ever so sweet anyway, we don't really need even more than we've already got. So then we just get our wooden spoon and we just mix that in. Make sure it's well mixed and dispersed into the dry ingredients evenly to give that a really good mix, and just move the bowl and your spoon around like so. Right, so that's all in there. Now doesn't just stop there with me. I love to add lots of different interesting ingredients into my crumble topping, and today I've decided to add lemon and crystallised ginger. So we'll start by popping in our crystallised ginger. So I've used about 4 to 5 medium-sized cubes. I don't want that to fall out the bowl, so there we go. And then just pop that in, like so. Trying to be tidy. Right, okay, so, and then also the zest of 1 medium lemon. So that's in my glass there. So we'll just pop that in. You might want to get your hands in if you've already pre-measured your ingredients, which is always quicker. So that's that. Okay, so then again, you want to grab your spoon and you just want to make sure that that is all mixed in. Mix it in as well as you can, make sure it's all nice and even. So that's that. Lovely. Right, okay, so that's all that done there. So that is the dry ingredients. One more ingredient that I do like to, well, a couple actually, is about half a teaspoon of fresh sea salt, freshly ground. So there we go, that's going to go in. That's going to, that's going to do is it's going to boost all your flavours, your lemon and your ginger. So make sure that that is really dispersed. You don't want clumps of salt in your dessert. It's not exactly pleasant. So there we go. One more ingredient that I like to use is the juice of half the medium lemon that you grated earlier on. So we'll just pop that in. Like so. Fabulous. I'm just going to pop these bowls to one side. Like so. Okay, so again, just make sure that your lemon juice is well dispersed throughout your mixture. And what we are trying to achieve here are small clumps of crumble mixture. And this will just add a really lovely crunch, a lovely biscuity crunch to your crumble. Lovely. Right, okay, that's all done. Okay, so we'll pop our crumble mixture to one side. Now, what I've got here is just a sort of a nice square dish, about 30 centimetres. You can use any size dish you like, or any shape, should I say. So what I've got in my bowl are about 12 fresh strawberries, 1 mango, and also 2 medium-sized eating apples. So they're probably about this size. So they're peeled and chopped. They're all going to go into my square bowl, or dish, should I say. So they're going to go into there. Smells amazing. My favourite fruit's mango. It's just, oh, right. I want to eat it all now, never mind putting the crumble on top. Right, okay. So we'll pop that to one side, like so. Right. So now what we're going to add, we'll pop that over here, is what I've got in my little bowl now is I've got half a tablespoon of cinnamon powder. I've got half a teaspoon of ginger powder and half a teaspoon of mixed sweet spice. So they're now going to go in with our fruit. So pop those in, okay. And then I'm just going to grab my spoon I used earlier. Just take that crumble mixture off because it's going in there anyway, so I'm not too fussed. So we'll just give that a nice mix around. Make sure that your spices are well dispersed in with your fruit. One thing you might want to add, I've used a very, very ripe mango, so it's extra juicy. You might want to add a little bit of water to your fruit, just so you've got extra cooking liquid in there. So it takes a few moments just to make sure your spices are all well dispersed. As so. It's already smelling really yummy, so that's the main thing. Now, we don't need to add any extra sugar to the fruit because strawberries, eating apples and the mango are all super sweet anyway, so we don't need to add any extra. It'll blow your head off otherwise with sweetness. So there we go. So that's all nice, and make sure that you spread your fruit out lovely and evenly in your dish so we get an even disperse of heat throughout. Okay, so the next part, which is the last part of this recipe, is we're going to just pop our crumble topping on the top of our fruit. So just put my spoon here, and just, if you've got any extra left, what I like to do is make it into like little biscuits, which you can then either freeze or enjoy later on with a cuppa or a nice cup of coffee. So we'll just pop our crumble mixture. I mean, mine's quite, in fact, I've got quite a good amount there, so that's good. So we'll just pop that all in there. Right, fabulous. So that's all. And make sure again, like your fruit, that it's all evenly dispersed on your top. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you don't cover the entirety of the fruit. If you've got bits of fruit sticking out, that doesn't matter, because what will happen is all your lovely juices will, from the fruit, will all pop round the top of the crumble, and it will go all caramelised and delicious. So that's that. Okay, so now, bear with me, I'm just going to go and wash my hands because they're a bit sticky. Right, I'm just going to put some dimple marks into the top of my crumble. That's kind of my signature thing. I like to do that. Don't ask me why, but it just, to me, it makes it extra crunchy. So here we go. As you can see, that is the crumble all in the dish there. Now I'm going to pop this into a preheated oven. Well, mine's at about 175, but it usually about between that and 180 degrees Celsius is absolutely perfect. So that's going to go in, and I usually bake that for about 35 minutes or until golden and all the juices from the fruits are flowing on the top and you're starting to get really golden edges. So I'm going to go and do that now, and then we'll go on to the next thing. So just bear with me and I'll go and put this in the oven. Right, okay, so that's in the oven. Now the next thing, which I'm going to make, is a banana nice cream. Now, most people know ice cream to have cream in. Well, this is literally, the base of this recipe is literally just frozen bananas. So I'm just going to grab and put my bowl to one side one moment, and I'll shove it there. So I've got a box here of 3 very ripe bananas at their healthiest stage, so they're really sweet. So we'll pop those there for a moment. Okay. Now this is all going to really look a little bit intriguing because we've got some extra ingredients going in there as well. Right, I'm going to just grab my food processor. Oops. Right, so, okay. Well, make sure if you've got a food processor, you can use a blender as well for this, which is great. You want to make sure it's fitted with an S-shaped blade. So if I just show you quickly, so just a nice metal blade like that. Be careful because they are very sharp. And we're going to pop our frozen banana. Make sure before you process the banana that you've left it for about 10 to 15 minutes, if not a little bit longer, just to make sure they're a little bit soft. Otherwise you will end up causing a bit of a hoo-ha with your blender and you might end up breaking it. The blenders I've gone through, trust me, get a good one. Okay. So that is in my food processor. So now we're going to pulse it, and you need to pulse the blender, the banana, until it's really smooth. So I'm going to start by just doing some quick pulsing movements, just to ensure that the texture isn't too hard. So just bear with me. It might take a couple of moments. Right, so that should be fine now. So we can just pop that on until it is lovely and smooth. And what you'll notice when it's been blended is it goes almost stretchy. It's really clever, banana. You'd be surprised what you can do with it. Okay, so let's just put this on for a few moments. Bear with me and I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to stop the food processor for a few moments. What you might want to do is get a rubber spatula. My well-loved rubber spatula, can't live without it. Is just make sure that your banana isn't getting caught on the blades too much. Make sure you're getting all your mixture from off the sides of the bowl, as so. And then we're just going to carry on blitzing the mixture until it's smooth. And just make sure, oh, perfect, lovely stuff. Now what I'm going to add quickly now is about 1 to 2 teaspoons, or just in between, of vanilla extract, never essence extract, because essence is actually a chemical, although I don't think you can get hold of that so much these days, so we'll pop a bit more. I do like nice, it's going absolutely everywhere. Ugh. Right, that'll do. Stick that there and then just give it another quick blend. Perfect, so let's have a look. Lovely stuff. So I'm just going to grab, now my box is a little bit wet, so I'm just to do that. Right, I'm just going to show you what your mixture should look like. So there we go, lovely and smooth. You can see all the little seeds from the banana, so we know that that's all lovely and mixed in. Just grab your blade. Oh God, be careful not to cut yourself. I almost did. Now what I'm going to do, since I'm making a strawberry ripple banana ice cream, yum, is I'm going to put half of the plain banana mixture into there, into the bowl, and then I'm going to leave the rest, and I'm going to add, now you'll notice at the moment it's starting to go a bit more runny now, because obviously it's warm in here. So I'm just going to pop your bowl back onto the food processor and blades. Now I've got a bowl of about 5 strawberries, medium size-ish, or you can use about 3 larger strawberries. They're now going to go in to our banana mixture, and we're just going to blitz that until smooth again. Moment, and then just make sure that we get our strawberries in. Yeah, this is quite runny at the moment, but that's fine because it will be going back in the freezer, so that will all firm up. So just another few moments. That'll do. If it doesn't all go smooth, that doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. Is because we're going to also fold in some more freshly chopped strawberries that are finely chopped, or a little bit more finely chopped, should I say. And I'm dropping this everywhere. It does smell amazing though. Right, okay, so we're going to pop the blade to one side for a moment. I haven't disappeared. So, then just pop your strawberry banana mixture in. Here, like so. Perfect. Okay, so that's all going in now. Okay, stick that over there. Right, and then lastly, we're going to put in our finely chopped fresh strawberries, like so, and they're going to go in to our banana strawberry mix. And then what you want to do is grab a spatula or a knife or whatever you like, and just don't fully mix the mixture in. You just want to just swirl it around so you've got a little bit of the plain banana. I mean, this is quite runny now because of the heat. So it hasn't got to be perfect, just make sure it's all, and you might end up with a bit more strawberry than plain, but that's fine because it's all going in the same pot. So that's all done. So that is all sorted. Okay, so then this you need to then return to the freezer, and that just needs to go in for about, I'd say 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And then when you take it out, you may need to leave it to stand for about 15 minutes before you can actually scoop any of it out. So just bear with. Is, oh, it's a bit runny. Our swirled banana and strawberry mixture. So now we're going to put that in the fridge before it does fill that box. So I'm just going to go and grab the crumble out of the oven. I'm using some really strong rubber oven gloves, so I'm going to go and grab that out of the oven now, and let's go and see what it's like. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so it's really bubbling and it's come out exactly how I wanted it to. So I'm just giving it a few moments just to I'm just going to quickly show you the end result of our crumble, which is like so. So as you can see, all of the fruit juices have all oozed over the top of the crumble mixture, which is exactly how it should be. So that is fabulous. So that is all done now. So that is the end of my very first recipe video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've never done this before, so it's actually quite fun. So yeah, thank you ever so much for tuning in and watching my very first video of Rainbow Chef. and I hope to be sharing my next recipe super soon.